So this came up from a part. No. I'm sorry. It was a Pro Football Talk article that was written originally in July. It was a July 25th article from Mike Florio that I made sure to look up. And maybe the article has been updated by this point. I don't know for sure. If somebody knows that, please let us know. But he wrote that per multiple sources, the representatives of Caleb Williams had been making it known to prospective agents that Williams wants partial ownership of the team that picks him in 2024 if he declares for the draft. Now, it's also written in here, likewise, a league source tells PFT that Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers attempted to secure equity in his contract discussions with the Jets. The Jets never had to say no because the league did it for the Jets and every other team last week. I mean, this seems like more of a... I don't think... There aren't going to be a lot of teams, if any teams, that are going to be willing to do something like this for a rookie who I understand he's a very highly touted rookie, a prospect. I understand he won the Heisman last year, was considered a Heisman favorite going into this year, and now it's probably not going to be the case. But, like, why would you just... Like, I understand you want to make business moves, but is this kind of just like a short-sighted like demand for an up-and-coming prospect, or is this a play to like get teams that wouldn't be able to do this out of the market and then have a... But why would a better team be willing to do something like this? If that's the case.
I think there are teams that would do it. There are teams that wouldn't do it. And I don't want to say what team is which. I don't know. I mean, hell, the Browns traded for a quarterback and gave him the most guaranteed money in NFL history.
Right.
At the time.
But they're not giving him 1% ownership.
Right. But at the same time, what would 1% ownership do? You know what I mean? You're not going to get a huge say.
It would be more money long term because you could build up
and
stock.
that's why I think that the right team would have to do it. The Chicago Bears to me is not a team that would do that, right? We know what they are. I can't believe I'm going to say this.
So what are you going to say?
Would a team that thinks they're starving for a quarterback, but they're not, like the New England Patriots do it though?
Huh.
They just think, oh my God, we've been starving. Like, shut up.
Well,
just shut up.
Well.
Okay? Welcome to our life. Welcome to our life, our entire lifetime, outside 3 years.
I'm not gonna get angry at them. It's like a rich person losing all their money in the stock market, and they have to now shop at Walmart. That's what we're saying.
Or they put it on a 17-leg parlay and it didn't hit. That's neither here nor there. You know, sports betting is kind of like stock market.
Yeah, it's both. They're both stupid to get into.
1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem. But I can see the Patriots doing it, right? The Patriots to me look lost. They don't know what's... Mac Jones is terrible. He is. And I thought, although I didn't want to think, but I did think that maybe there was a chance he'd look better this year with Bill O'Brien there now as offensive coordinator. Second year with him. Or was it first year with him? But
I can't believe you just said that sentence.
But he was in Alabama.
I know.
That's why I'm saying...
I know.
I didn't say general manager because we know he had...
You know who else was at Alabama? Devonta Smith. And a whole bunch of weapons at Alabama.
Agree.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
You'd think the offensive coordinator would know where to put the quarterback in to have the most success as possible,
sure.
Which has not happened because I don't think Mac Jones is good. But they just got beat by the guy that backed up Tom Brady for most of his career.
Brian Hoyer won a football game in 2023.
People probably didn't even realize Brian Hoyer was still playing.
I didn't.
No, I did. Because I missed him because he got a raw deal in Cleveland. That's neither here nor there. I just, it wouldn't be the Jets because the Jets have Aaron Rodgers under contract for another year. Now, if Aaron Rodgers retired, which does not seem like that's going to happen, I could see the Patriots being a team like that. It wouldn't be the Raiders if they went down that hole and tried to tank. It's, not going to be the Giants because they just signed Daniel Jones to that wonderful contract that he's getting paid for now. I wonder if this is coming out because they're trying to scare teams away. Because they've already threatened, too, if they don't like the spot, then maybe he goes back to college for another year.
Yeah, this is the thing, too. Like, number one, Caleb Williams just had arguably the worst college football game of his career against Notre Dame in that loss.
It was bad.
It was 3 interceptions in the first half. That guy has pretty much forfeited any sort of demand like this that you would have for an NFL franchise. Number two, I feel like we're getting towards a way and look, prospects are going to be hyped up forever and ever as long as the NFL draft is still a thing because, there are certain guys who are more ready than others and who can flourish at the NFL level. But we've seen a number of these quarterbacks go through, and a lot of these guys have been able to live up to the hype despite everything, but there are so many quarterbacks who have been kind of hyped up as like the next big thing for so many years. I mean, guys like Trevor Lawrence and, guys like it really started in like the early 2010s with like the Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III thing. And you could say those guys kind of lived up to what they were able to do, whether it was in the short term or the long term. But we've hyped up guys like Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray and even Deshaun Watson, if you want to get technical. I'm not just naming number one picks here, but have we really seen enough of Caleb Williams to like make sure this guy is a bona fide, guaranteed, will succeed at any team in the NFL that you will give him? We haven't. So
it's a risk.
It is. I understand every draft pick is a risk. I get that, but there are some that are more than others.
Yeah.
And when you have this number one option, you have to make sure you land it right because that could be a franchise changer. We don't know if Caleb Williams is a franchise changer. I think he can be a good NFL quarterback. He's got the tangibles to do so. But this is my thing. I just don't see this guy as someone who should be making these sort of, again, these are reported claims to these teams being like, if you're going to draft me, I want a slice of the pie. It's like the NFL owners, not me, the NFL owners are going to look at that and be like, who are you to tell us what to do right now? We are giving you the keys. You don't have the keys and the car. We are giving you the keys to this. Don't crash the car, basically.
Yeah. And what happens if he is a bust and you gave him
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, then you are in.
That's one of the dumbest moves that any owner. Yeah, that would be even worse. That might even be worse than giving a quarterback a $233 million guaranteed contract. No, even if Watson had played like his Texan self right out of the gate. That'd be really dumb.
I agree with you. I think at the same time when Watson was signed, the extension, aka new deal with Cleveland, it was, oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah. Because of what happened off the field, allegedly.
And that was the only way we could get him.
Right. And because of the long-term layoff he had. But you knew that wasn't going to be the highest paid quarterback of all time because other quarterbacks are going to get paid that are going to be better than Deshaun Watson, right? There's nobody in here that's going to say that if Deshaun Watson was his Houston Texans self right now in Cleveland, that he's better than Pat Mahomes. Like, it's Mahomes, I think, is the best quarterback in football. I don't really think you can argue it. You're not talking about a guy that's just going to be getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You're talking about a guy that's going to have long-term money from your franchise forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is altering. And I don't know. Is it him or is it his dad? His dad's been doing a lot of talking too. And that's the hard part.
I think I said this on the podcast already. Can we stop? Like, I'm not saying we should stop the practice of this happening, but can we stop like overhyping the parent agents of these guys? Like, there are so many parents now, and give credit to these parents who are active in their, sons or daughters' lives and like trying to make sure they get the best for their kids. But can we just stop making it to be like, so-and-so's dad blasts NFL owner for comments made about this? And I'm like, can we just stop with it? Just stop with it. I'm so annoyed by it. But that's only me. I'd also have to look up and see, by the way, if an NFL player can have ownership of a team.
We don't know. Because
I just learned the story of, I knew who, who was the Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, the Hall of Fame hockey player for the Penguins. He was a player for the Penguins, then he retired, and then he unretired, and then he actually bought the then bankrupt Penguins from their previous owner and was a player for years with them as the owner of the team. He eventually sold off his stake, but he's still, I think, part of the front office or executives. But I always wondered about that. Like, the NHL allows that to happen, and I'm like, I wonder if that could be in other leagues as well. I know you can't manage a team while you're an owner, because Ted Turner tried to do that for one game in the 70s with the Braves, and that didn't. And then the league office was like, no, you can't do that, and then he had to resign. I don't know. I'd have to look that up.